The modern woman's pre-game dating strategy. We're gonna expose it right now.
I was just patient, never try skating. Fuck niggas hating.
No, I didn't read this in any kind of playbook. I don't watch modern women dating coaches or anything like that. Everything I'm going to mention in this video is based off my experience with dating modern women. And, it's a shame, but it is a pattern. That's why I can bring it to you because I'm pretty sure you're going to identify with a lot of these tactics because, like I said in a lot of my videos, these women continue to appear to be clones. They're all trying the same antics and tactics to get the same things done to all of us men. And if we educate ourselves, continue to educate ourselves, then we can avoid them at all costs. Okay, so in this video, I want to expose the modern woman's pregame, dating strategy. Something that's already set in place prior to meeting you. She didn't make this up as she met you. You might feel like, why she do me like that? This is not even a personal attack. I mean, it is in a way because you're under attack personally, but she does this to any and every man that she comes across. Okay, let's jump right into it. First, I want to start by letting you know that this is her typical approach and outlook on how she dates in a way to see that she deems appropriate and necessary in order for her to get what she's looking for out of a man. Now, what is she looking for out of a man? And to keep it brief, there's roughly these 5 things. 1, she's looking for a man who is equally, if not more, established than she is, and this can be via credit, if he owns a home or if he's a renter, if he owns his car, if he's mobile, is he financially stable? She's looking for someone that is, if not equally, then more established than she is in those ways. Number 2, she's looking for someone who is or tends to be naive to the modern dating tactics. I mean, if you weren't naive to these tactics, then these tactics wouldn't work on you. You're typically going to be one of these guys who you don't question a woman. You don't question her motive. When you see red flags, you let them fly over your head. And you might run to your friends and be like, what does this mean? Or run to your sisters and female friends and ask them, but you don't bring them up. Okay. This is effective for her because this still allows her enough time to change the narrative, control the narrative, gain access to you before you have all the proof, because you are the type of man, apparently you're being the type of man who needs proof. Before you can deem her to be unworthy of your time, you need proof. Okay? And I'm not going to speak on that because I know a lot of men who do this, and I guess in a way I kind of agree. You don't want to be this guy who's making assumptions and you just walking away from what could potentially be a good woman, but her circumstances or things that are being revealed to you via intuition or in the spirit, you second guess and you need to make sure that they are accurate before making a decision based off of those perceived ideals. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to bash a man for doing that. I understand. It's sad that we have to even take these measures when trying to meet someone and we're being genuine, but it's reality, and that's why channels like this exist. So she's looking for someone who's naive in that sense. Even if you do see her red flags, you're not going to bring them up. And you not bringing them up just gives her more time to be able to realign and reshift the narrative. So, she's like, she's just tighten up her game. Number 3, she's looking for someone who is easy to captivate. And by this, I mean you are sold. She was able to completely gain your interest and keep your attraction based on her charm and her beauty. Okay, she didn't come with too much of anything. You just seen this woman that was extremely attractive, um, and she was being respectful and charming, and that was enough for you. Okay, she's looking for a man like that. Number four, she's looking for someone who's willing to invest, someone who is genuine, generous, and someone who's a fixer and a builder of things. That's most of us good men. That's how we, operate. A woman tells us something's wrong or broken, and we try to find out the quickest, fastest, most productive way to solve problems, fix things, and build things. So this is definitely going to be one of the traits that she's looking for in a man, you know. And not, lastly, number five is she's looking for someone who believes his value is based on what he provides to a woman. Again, this is most men because this is what societal norms convince us or persuade us or coerce us into believing that a man is supposed to provide 100% of things. A man is supposed to, you aren't you are only valuable based off of what you bring to the table. And even if we take this back to biblical days, in biblical terms, this is a false narrative. This is a narrative that's been created uh, via society, new societal norms. But when God made Eve, she made Eve from and for Adam. She was invented and created to be a helpmate to man, and to her man specifically. So for women to and men, there are men who believe that they are supposed to provide everything to a woman, and they are supposed to be bring what it's all about what they bring to the table, and the woman is the prize. Okay, but with that being said, that is the opposite of what the maker himself intended. So, you can value a woman. There's nothing wrong with you valuing your woman. But at the same time, that is not what we were intended to do. We were not intended to build a life for a woman. A woman was sent to assist a man with building the life. She benefits from being a part of a life that she helped build, not the other way around. A man benefits from helping her build a life or building a life for her. Okay, so she's looking for this in a man in order for her to deem him as qualified supply. Now, moving forward, let's get to the juicy part. Her strategies, her pregame strategies to accomplish securing a man like that. Okay, things that she already had in place prior to meeting you. And if you don't qualify, she'll just use these tactics on another man. Number one, she needs to appear successful or independent. She's going to hide blemishes and flaws. She's going to be the type of woman who doesn't talk about her past relationships and how they ended. hmm She needs to appear to be well put together. This might even be a woman who appears to be overly religious, a Bible thumper, somebody who is in church every Sunday, and someone who is just mentally, emotionally stable. She needs to paint the most perfection. She needs to just her image just needs to be flawless. She doesn't curse. You know what I'm saying? She's just the perfect wife. And, based on her age, you might be able to call cap on this immediately, because someone who is in their late 30s and 40s appearing to be a perfect woman, and especially if she's been married then divorced, and especially if she has multiple kids, then you know that there's some flaws. And not to say that this means that she is a no good woman because she's up in age and she's been married before and divorced. But we all have blemishes and we all have flaws. But this woman wants to hide all of hers from you in order to control the way you look at her. She does not want you to look at her in any negative light. Let me repeat that. She doesn't want you to look at her in any negative light. She doesn't want you to see her as a liar. She doesn't want to see you to see her as a cheater and anybody who's struggling. She anything negative about her. She is already set up this narrative and adjusted her appearance to appear that none of those things exist. So you might think that, geez, this is a perfect woman. This is a green flag, but you have to look at it like you're 40 years old and you had nothing but failed relationships, same as the person that you're talking to now, who I'm open about having flaws and being a messed up individual in the past and making honest changes. But this type of woman can't even afford to tell you the flaws she's made in the past. And anybody who cannot be honest and transparent about their flaws is still currently dealing with them. Okay? They are dealing with the shame of those flaws and they'd like to be void of any accountability of those flaws. Moving right along. Number 2, she believes trust is earned, not given. This is a very controversial topic, but I very much so have a stance on this. When I meet anybody, you have all of my trust until you lose it. To put you in a position to earn my trust implies that I don't trust anybody, and I probably don't. And the reason why I wouldn't trust anybody is because I don't even trust myself. And I also don't believe in faith and haven't put in faith in other people. So how can I be an overly righteous or religious man who is a God-fearing man, but I don't believe in other people? I don't believe or see good in other people. Therefore, they don't get my trust. They have to earn it. But let me go deeper on this subject here. When somebody, especially a woman, feels like you need to earn her trust, this is going to make you're going to feel like you have to earn her trust. You're going to feel like you have to impress her. You're going to feel like you need to be more transparent. You're going to feel like that you have to provide more information and about yourself in order for you to be convince her that you are worthy of her time. But this whole time you're doing all the convincing, she's withholding from you. You have to understand this. When someone tells you trust is earned, not given, that means there's something that she's holding on to and holding back from you that she is waiting for you to earn from her. And she will ration it out based off of her deeming it necessary or deeming it appropriate. She is controlling the narrative. And you are falling right into that. You're probably never going to get to know who she really is. And another thing I have to say before I'm moving on this point, the way a woman shows up is the way the relationship will end. What do you mean by that, Jerome? Well, if this woman showed up as a deceiver, showed up as somebody who withholds information, let's say this. Because trust in her eyes is earned and not given, she provided you with a fake phone number. You don't have her real phone number. She provided you with a fake name. Maybe she typically goes by her middle name. Very common. You don't know her real name. You can't look her up. You can't do any background checks on her. Well, hopefully you wouldn't do that anyway to somebody you don't even know. But you can't research her. You can't find out who she really is. She'll tell you that she does this kind of job when the actual job she does might be generally in the same department, but it's not. She was lying to you. Okay, another popular tactic that they'll use is they have to keep you blind and unaware of who they really are Of course, like I said, in order to protect themselves, they feel against you. Somebody who is asking us date questions specific to courtship, someone who isn't leading with sex, someone who's being transparent, someone who's being a genuine person, someone who's making themselves vulnerable to someone who isn't vulnerable with you at all. Number three, she gauges you. Okay. She measures how transparent you're being by researching you. Okay. In order to validate what you've told her. She never trusts you. She asks you questions like, so what's your real name? Is that your real name? What's your last name? What's your sign? What's your birth date? And you're thinking, oh, she wants to know my sign so she can see if we're compatible. But she's asking you what's your birth date so she could type in your first, middle, and last name and birth date into some search engine and find out if you have a criminal record. Find out if you have any convictions. Find out if you're currently fighting a case. Find out if you're what your credit rating is, and if you own any property or anything like that. She is fully looking you up. Meanwhile, you don't even know who she really is. Number four, she forces you to blindly invest. When I say blindly invest, she wants you to pursue her. This could be dates. This can be anything that you invest your time and money and effort into, but you're doing it blindly because you don't even know who she is. You don't know what her motive is. Her intentions aren't pure and aren't clear. Okay, but you're investing your time, money, and energy into something that could potentially not even exist. You're blindly investing. Okay, but in order to assist or to completely assure herself that you are blindly investing, she needs to block you. She doesn't allow you to follow her on social media. This is when you have a woman who you met and are going strong with in a positive light. You met her possibly online dating, and she, a day or two after getting off the app, you were worthy enough and trustworthy enough to get off that app. She blocks you on that app. This is so that you cannot see her change her profile, update her profile, her bio and pictures. She's going to continuously use that app to meet other people in secret. She's doing things that she does not want you to see. She's closing the windows to her life. This is not trustworthy. This is sneaky behavior. But this is how she gets you to invest blindly. Because if you knew who she was, you wouldn't invest any of your time, efforts, or money. Number five, if you call her out, she will accuse you of being not healed. You're too much. You're insecure. You're damaged by previous relationships. And may even accuse you of being toxic. Because you wanted to know, why did you block me? Why can't I follow you on social media? Why did you give me a fake number? Why did you tell me your first name was your middle name instead of your real name? You call her out for any of these things, she's going to accuse you of not being healed. She's going to accuse you of being toxic and controlling. She's going to accuse you of being damaged goods. In order to flip it back on you, you're the problem. What she's doing should be normal. And she's going to justify it by saying things like, oh, as a woman, we have to protect ourselves. I understand having to protect yourself, but you don't give someone access to you even in person, going on dates, intimate settings. I can do things with you being that close to me and nobody else around. So why would you engage with someone that you don't fully trust? You don't have the ability to trust. Trusting doesn't serve her narrative and her purpose and her pursuit. Trusting you, that does nothing for her. Trusting you makes her the more vulnerable party. Not trusting you keeps her in a position, an elevated position of dominance, even if this woman appears to be submissive. I have a bonus one for you. Number 6, she is building a secret roster. Because of this pregame dating strategy she has, she's able to talk to multiple people at the same time without any one of them having any clue that anyone else exists or that she's pursuing them. There's a lot of things that go in with this, like having her read receipts turned off, like not answering, and responding to you normally after long periods of time. This allows her enough room to lead a different life, entertain other people without you knowing. She doesn't want you to date multiple people while dating her, but she wants to date multiple people while dating you. And this keeps her in a safe place, a protected place. And it also gets her all of the validation she needs, all the investment she needs from other men until she finds that perfect candidate who will fully invest himself, his finances, his resources into this woman, not knowing that she leads a secret life. She has a backup plan in case you say or do something that she doesn't like, or if she's ever exposed, if you ever find out who she really is and walks away, she can just rotate someone else into the main spot. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if you ever meet a woman and there's instant red flags, I'd address any and everything that I deem a red flag, but there's a way you want to do it. You don't want to do it in a way to where it appears to be like you're making assumptions. You want to ask don't make any assumptions, actually. Okay, what you want to do is you want to ask questions like, I recently went through this, and I asked the woman, I said, so we're not connected on a dating site anymore? And she says to me, well, there's no need for us to be matched on there if we're matched in real life. I was like, I met you there. I knew what that was. I what I knew was that she was trying to she blocked me on the dating site so that she can be able to make adjustments to her profile and she can stay on there without the app telling me that she was recently logged on. But I didn't make the assumption. I asked her and I said, we're not matched on here anymore? And she said, that's what she said. She said, there's no point in us being matched on there and in real life. So that confirmed my assumption. After our first date, she gave me her real number. And I said, why didn't you give me your real number when I met you? She says, I would never give a man my real number upon meeting him. Us women, we have to protect ourselves. I said, I get that. But when we got deeper into that conversation, she said, trust is earned and not given. And that's when she exposed herself inadvertently to be somebody who doesn't trust people because she doesn't even trust herself. And if you're being transparent and honest and direct, what need would somebody, need to feel apprehensive or reluctant to trusting you if you haven't provided one red flag as to why not to. I watched a video recently. In closing, I watched a video recently about from this guy online. He's talking about how women mind f you, how they try to mind f you, and the very first thing he said is they have to lie to you up front. This is why women are disrespectful to you later on in a relationship. This is why they don't respect you. It's because she feels like when she's able to acquire you, secure you with lies, she feels like you're not even worthy of respect. You were easy to manipulate. You're nothing. You're useful for what you are actually. Only your value is only based on what you can provide, because there's nothing that you can provide that she needs to work to obtain. She was able to lie to you and gain you as supply straight out the gate. If you like this video or if it resonates with you, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jerome, and this has been yet another episode of The Superb Word. Until next time, y'all, two fingers. Good luck.